Hello everyone, this is author, motivational speaker, and dating coach Matthew C. Horn, and I bring you a video tonight titled, Simps Must Commit to Imbalanced Investments. But before we go any further, always know that my videos in the dating space, they're inspired by my books, How to Get Beautiful Women and Everything Else You Want from Life, in addition to How to Be Appealing to Successful Black Men for Black Women. They're both available at my website, www.matthewchorne.com. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Thank you to my new subscribers and everyone who's been engaging. I see you and thank you for pushing me up. I appreciate you. And that's pretty much it. Let's get right to it. Tonight's video, Simps Must Commit to Imbalanced Investments. And this is a byproduct of me observing the Balloon Pop show. This was the episode with Braylon and Kiana. This was the follow-up that they did 1 month after they met. And Braylon, he essentially, he followed Kiana around for a month, hoping that he would get some of that pootie. See, a simp is a man that overextends himself and values the woman more than he values himself. And that's the cornerstone of a simp. He's going to overinvest, and he's going to put the woman on a higher plane than him. And that's what the simp is. And the opposite of the simp is the sexually attractive man who understands that he will never give a woman an offering to coerce her to do anything because he is the offering. And so you're either a simp or a sexually attractive man. See my previous videos, you'll get a deeper understanding of that. So on this particular episode, the follow-up, Braylon had followed Kiana around. He flew out to see her. He took her to Martha's Vineyard. Everything happened on his dime. He was actually dropping dollar amounts that he spent. And he was so frustrated on this follow-up show because he didn't get what he wanted. He was complaining about a lack of affection and how, you know, Kiana was doing the right things, giving him massages, inviting him into her home, and all that kind of stuff, but ultimately he wanted to have a physical encounter with her. And so the follow-up show essentially says that they had to part ways because Kiana was not willing to give him what he wanted. And Kiana made it very plain from the very beginning that she wasn't on that type of time. And he thought that he was the exception, and he was essentially frustrated because he couldn't gift her or overextend himself into her bedroom. And that's what simps do. Simps overextend themselves, but they get caught up because once that simp makes that commitment, the simp makes an aggressive commitment to get what he wants from the woman. So it's imbalanced because he's giving way more than she is because he values her above himself. And so it gets to a point when a simp is trying to get a woman and gain intimacy from her. He's invested so much after she's rejected him so many times that he has no choice but to continue to invest and invest more in order to accomplish his goal. And that's why he's a simp. But that's why they have to commit, is because they gave so much that they're just like, well, I've committed this much. I can't walk away at this point. And that's where simps get caught up, and that's where simps get disrespected, and that's where simps get disregarded. So you never want to be the simp that overextends himself and has to make that commitment. And the only way to not do that is to approach any woman on level ground, meaning that you want to become a sexually attractive man that women view you as the offering. She doesn't require offerings when you are the offering, when you are the gift. And so when you're confident within yourself and you've developed yourself into a sexually attractive man, then you don't have to overextend yourself because you're knowing that you're showing up in the woman's space as a desirable man. Women do not require gifts and offerings and overextension from men who are sexually desirable and who are a representation of an offering. They don't do that. Those are the men that women get with after they deal with the simp. So the simp can take them out on dates. The simp can fly themselves out and fly the girl out and overextend themselves. But ultimately, every woman is going to get with the man that she's extremely attracted to. That's a sexually attractive man, and she's not going to require a gift from him. And so that's why I made this video tonight, because you never want to get to a point that you've overextended yourself so much that you have to stick with the overextension and the commitment of simping so that you can get the outcomes that you want with women. And let me go a little bit deeper into the kind of man who doesn't have to overextend himself, the sexually attractive man. That man accepts that he must show up to the world and show up to women's space as the most desirable version of himself every day. That man is in the gym. That man monitors his diet. That man is constantly ascending in life, meaning that he has a trail of results behind him, and he's continuing to ascend because he's never satisfied with his progress in life. And so that kind of man is recognizable. And when a woman comes across that kind of man, she ultimately understands that she can't play with him. She can't require gifts and offerings because that man is an offering. He's an offering because he's a rarity, meaning that he's developed himself into the sexually attractive man that doesn't need to overextend himself and give more to the interaction than the woman is giving. So you always have two choices. If you look at my channel, you should understand by now you have two choices. You're either a simp or a sexually attractive man. And if you're not a sexually attractive man, then you're going to have to overcommit. You're just going to have to overcommit. That's just how the game is played, because the woman is going to require an offering to compensate for her lack of attraction to you. Those are simps. And what was ironic was that Braylon advertised himself as this sexually attractive man that is always the exception. It doesn't matter that Kiana said that she's not going to give it up until marriage. I'm the exception, so I'm going to hang in there until she gives me some. And he was sadly mistaken. And let's break that down. He really wasn't the man that he proclaimed himself to be, or else he wouldn't have hung in there for a month of giving, and overextending himself in order to get some of that pookie. Sexually attractive men do not overextend themselves. They present themselves to women. And they let the woman decide if she sees him the way that he sees himself. And a sexually desirable man deserves to see himself that way because the world and women respond to him that way on a consistent basis. So Braylon was manipulating. Braylon was false advertising, saying that he's the exception, because no sexually attractive man is going to hang in there for a month and overextend himself with the hopes of getting some pookie. So his actions didn't meet the proclamation that he made about himself. So he advertised himself as a sexually attractive man, but beneath it all, based on his movements, he was a simp. And you have to accept that as a man. As a simp, you're always going to have to overextend yourself. And then you're going to overextend yourself to the point that you're going to have to commit to it because you don't want to lose. You don't want to lose out on the return on the offerings that you gave to the woman because you overextended yourself. Simps can't read in between the lines that the woman is just not that attractive to him. A sexually attractive man knows as soon as he meets a woman whether she views him as someone that she wants to interact with on a sexual level or not. And that might sound drastic, but if you're a desirable man, you know what that red beam of lust looks like from a woman's eyes as soon as she meets you. You know the rhythm and cadence of the initial interaction that lets you know that she's sexually attracted to you. And you never want to deal with a woman who doesn't have that red beam of lust coming from her eyes, because if she doesn't have that, you're in the pool of all the other men. And if she decides to entertain you, you're going to have to overextend yourself and give a continuum of offerings to compensate for her lack of attraction for you. And that's what Braylon did on a balloon pop show with Kiana. And that follow-up, it was poetic. The follow-up show that they had, it was just them two and the host. It was poetic. It shows that simps have to overextend themselves and commit to it with the hopes of getting the return that they invested for. But you're a simp if you ever have to overextend yourself for any woman. You just present yourself to women and you're able to gauge if the woman wants you the same way that you want her. So you never want to overextend yourself. That's the whole point of me making this video tonight. You never want to overextend yourself. You never have to overextend yourself if you're a sexually attractive man. Because if Braylon was truly a sexually attractive man, as soon as he got whiff of Kiana not wanting to engage with him sexually, then he would have disappeared, because as a sexually attractive man, you have options. You have options for intimacy with many women. So there's no way that you're going to have options and tolerate a woman who is not giving you anything in terms of intimacy or sexual interest. It just doesn't make any sense. So it's time for men to stop masquerading as these sexually attractive men. It's time for men to become sexually attractive men. And once again, you're in the gym, you're keeping yourself in shape, you're looking good, you're caring for yourself. Your appearance is a reflection of how you see yourself and how you value yourself. And you're giving off that aura and that energy as soon as you meet the woman. And she knows that she cannot play around with you because you're showing up as your optimal self. So that's why I wanted to make this video tonight. Nothing too long. Just wanted to let you know, you're either a simp or a sexually attractive man. And if you choose the route of the simp, then you're constantly going to have to overextend yourself and hang in there to get a return on your investment, the imbalanced investment, because that woman doesn't view you and value you the same way that you value her. You're either going to become a sexually attractive man, or you're going to remain a simp who has to continuously overextend himself. This has been Matthew C. Horne, author, motivational speaker, and dating coach, bringing you a video tonight titled, you're a simp that has to overextend yourself and hope for a return, or you're a sexually attractive man. That's the gist of what we talked about tonight. Always know my videos in the dating space. They're inspired by my books, How to Get Beautiful Women and Everything Else You Want from Life, in addition to How to Be Appealing to Successful Black Men for Black Women. They're both available at my website, www.matthewchorne.com. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and to continue to push me up the algorithm and to help me to grow the movement. If my words in this video has been of value to you tonight, then don't forget to drop something in my donation information. Help me to keep these videos coming. Support me so I can continue to elevate your life and bring these value videos to you. If you know that you could benefit from coaching from someone like me, Matthew C. Horne, author, motivational speaker, and dating coach, email me at matt@matthewchorne.com. We'll set up the initial consultation and get you moving in the direction of the optimal outcomes in the dating space. I've enjoyed spending some time with you tonight. And just always please understand, if you remain a simp, if you don't want to work on yourself to become a sexually attractive man, then you're going to have to overextend yourself and commit to the imbalance offering.